Recorded Books and One-Click Digital present Deadly Curiosities by Gail Z. Martin. Narrated by Thérèse Plummer. Chapter 1.
Have you ever seen something you can't explain?
The woman peered at me anxiously, looking to me for validation. Sure, hasn't everyone? My answer was meant to put her at ease, but it was a dodge. If I answered her question directly, she definitely wouldn't rest easy, now or maybe ever again. I'm Cassidy Kincaide, owner of Trifles Folly, an estate auction and antique shop in historic and haunted Charleston, South Carolina. On the side, we're also a high-end pawn shop. I inherited the shop, which has been in my family since 1670. Most people think we deal in antiques and valuable oddities, and we do. But our real job is getting dangerous supernatural objects off the market before anyone gets hurt. When we succeed, no one notices. When we don't, the damage usually gets blamed on some sort of natural disaster. It's the perfect job for me since I'm not just a history geek, I'm also a psychometric. I read the strong emotions connected to objects, and often I get bits of memories, voices, and images. So when my customer asked if I'd ever seen anything I can't explain, I was certain she didn't really want to know the truth, because I had seen some very scary stuff.
Maybe it's the lenses,
the woman said, bringing me back to our conversation.
In the opera glasses. When I look through them at home or in my yard, they seem to be fine. But when I take them to a show, there are shadows. And the images get blurry.
I was willing to bet that there was more to it, but it didn't take a psychic to see that my customer was being careful with what she said, worried I would think she was imagining things, or worse.
That can happen in old pieces like this,
I said, allowing her to save face.
Lenses are delicate things. Over the years, if they get bumped or jostled too much, they can get out of alignment.
In front of me on the counter lay a beautiful set of opera glasses, the kind refined ladies of a bygone era took to the theater for a better view of the stage. They were finely crafted, with mother-of-pearl inlay and brass trim, and I could imagine them being tucked into the beaded handbag of a well-to-do patron of the arts. Without even touching them, I could also sense that they were not entirely what they seemed.
"Are you interested in purchasing them?"
The woman seemed antsy, like she was ready to be rid of the item and be gone. I smiled at her.
"They're lovely,"
I said.
"We'd be happy to purchase them."
I paused.
"Can you tell me a little about their history? Buyers love pieces that have a story to go with them."
Now that the opera glasses were no longer her problem, the woman seemed to relax a little. She was dressed casually, but I knew enough about clothing to know that her silk t-shirt, designer slacks, and tasteful yet expensive shoes probably cost more than the current balance of my bank account. And that was without adding the real gold earrings, Swarovski crystal bangle bracelet, and elegant and large diamond wedding set. Although she obviously took good care of herself, I saw a few telltale clues that made me guess that she was older than I had originally guessed. Probably in her early 70s.
"They belong to my great-grandmother," she said,
giving the opera glasses a wary look.
"She came from a well-to-do family up north and moved to Charleston when she married my great-grandfather around the turn of the last century," she added. "According to my family legend, she was quite a patron of the theater. She saw all the greats of the day, actresses like Lily Langtry and Sarah Bernhardt, and actors like the Barrymores and Eddie Foy Sr.
I nodded, and although the name sounded vaguely familiar from a long-ago college theater history class, I couldn't remember any details.
"So, early 1900s?"
I asked, but the opera glasses had already given me the answer. From their materials, finish, and workmanship, I knew they came from a time when craftsmen took their work seriously. The woman nodded.
"Of course, I never met her. But the opera glasses have been handed down through the family, and when my aunt died, she left them to me because I always loved going to plays."
She sounded wistful.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?